Hello, how are you getting on with controlling all of your LEDs? Now, this is where we get to the fun stuff. Now we're going to connect the buttons. Okay, I'm sure you've been waiting to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to now get some more jumper wires. And again, it's the socket to socket jumper wires. You should still have enough. You've got at least 10 of each of these. So if you use 4 for the LEDs, we're going to use another 4 for the buttons here. And again, I've chosen different colours. And I've plugged in each one, button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4. And I've brought them over onto the left-hand side here. You see, we've got quite a few on the right of my Pico. So I brought them over here onto the left-hand side. And there is a little group of 4 GP pins, the general purpose pins, if you remember. And these have got the numbers 10, 11, 12, and 13. So they're in between a ground pin there and a ground pin down there. So I have just chosen those to go 10, 11, 12, 13. Now you do just need to kind of count these really carefully because sometimes the printed letters don't precisely match up with the pins. So just count up from the bottom. Pin 10 is 7 pins up from the bottom of this little set here. So once you've connected all of those in, then we can start to write our code. What I've got over here on the right hand side, you can see in Thonny here, is I've just got my reset code. So you should have some a reset code similar to this. Maybe you hadn't expanded your reset program to cope with switching all 4 of your LEDs off. If you haven't done that, then now would be a good time just to pause and to make sure that you have still got something called a reset. So mine here. Here's my reset, and it was highlighted because I've just copied this over into a new space here for me to write my new code. Actually, I don't want to switch them all off. I can use my reset for that. What I am going to do is I'm just going to keep all of these defined here as I had them already, but now I'm going to start to tell my Pico, oh yeah, by the way, now I've connected some buttons and these are the pins that I have connected the buttons to. So here we go. I'm going to call them BTN1 down to BTN4. Okay, I can't be bothered to write out the whole word button. I'm sure you might be the same. And it's going to have a similar format to this. It is a pin, a GP pin that I have plugged each of these into. Now in the same way, I'm going to say that for button 1, I've connected it to pin 10. So that goes in as the first thing that I describe. But now a button is not an output device. It's not showing the result of something. It's not something that the Pico is setting itself. We're going to press the buttons, right? That's our job. So whether the button is pressed or not is not a matter for the Pico to decide. That's for us to decide. So that means that these are input devices, not output devices. So I need to make sure that I tell the Pico this. All it knows is I've plugged something into pin number 10. Doesn't know what it is right now, okay? I've called it BTN1, but it has no idea that it is a button that has been connected. So I'm going to describe, right, it is an input that is coming. And I also need to describe what's happening, that actually what we have in here, we have a pull down resistor. Do you remember I was talking in a previous video about how each of our LEDs have got a little resistor which is protecting the LED from drawing too much current and therefore burning out? Well, we've got a similar resistor in each of these buttons connected in series, so as part of this circuit. And this is a pull down resistor, which means that when I've not pressed the button is actually down at 0 volts, that is. So currently these buttons are disconnected, and it means that when I press the button, I'm actually completing a circuit, and then I will get a value of 1 coming up, or a high or a low. So there we go. So this is me describing this pin. We're just going to work with LED 1 and button 1 for now, and then you can expand this for all of your buttons that you have connected. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little infinite loop, a little testing loop, while true is true and true is always true. So I'm always going to go around in this loop forever and a day. I'm going to check the value of btn1. Oops, if I can type. Typing one-handed. If the value of btn1 is a 1, then I am going to switch LED1 on. Now, when I wrote this, I did it quite quickly, didn't I? I came to the colon at the end. That's saying if blah, 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 blah. Right, I finished describing that. Then I'm about to tell you what to do. That's like the then do this. When I hit enter, can you see that again, the if has been indented, like it's a little loop. So I've indented once for the while loop. I've jumped in from the beginning of the line into here. This is 4 spaces. And again, when I've jumped in again, if something is true, if button 1.value is a 1, then I'm jumping in again and I'm going to switch the LED on. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to put in a tiny, tiny little sleep just to slow down this code, because sometimes with buttons there can be a little bit of bouncing as we press the button. So I don't want it to respond too fast to me. Else, and this means otherwise, if the first thing wasn't true, then what am I going to do? Well, maybe I'm going to switch LED1 off. Because if I've pressed the button, then I want the LED to be on. And if I've not pressed the button, or if I've released the button, I want the LED to be off. Let's see what happens when we run this code. So at the moment, nothing is happening. But let me find my way through to button 1. Let me press button 1. Pressed it. Look at that. LED 1 has lit up and I've released it again. And oh, would you look at that? I took out the sleep, didn't I, out of my code here. I'll show you. Let me just put that in. I'm sure you'll have errors like this all the time. When you get an error, read the error really carefully. This is because I copied it over from my reset. From time import sleep. We need to tell the program what sleep means. There we go. So let's run it again. Here we go. So I'm going to come into the button. I'm going to press it now. On it comes, and I'm holding it and pressing it down. And when I release it, the LED comes off. So on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Okay, so there we have it. So that is our basic code that is helping us to switch an LED on when a button is pressed. Now, we've been working with this machine library because it is a library which is available to all of the Picos. Once you have practiced with this and maybe you've connected all of the buttons and made sure that it all works, we're actually going to move over to a beginner's library of functions which have been written to simplify this even further. The Pico 0 library, you will need to follow some instructions which I'll put in a separate video for you to install this library. And then this is going to make our code here even simpler. So I wanted to introduce you initially to this library because I wanted you to see the difference between an input pin and an output pin, and the fact that the Pico really needs to be told very explicitly what to do. Like, it's not got much intelligence itself. Everything needs to be spelt out for it, basically. So we are going to be using a Pico 0 library, and in there is a lot of built-in knowledge which is going to be transferred without us needing to think about it. What is an LED? How does it work? What is a button? What happens when we connect a button to a Raspberry Pi? What do we want to happen here? So the Pico has less work to do, and we can just define these pins very very clearly. So this is going to be really exciting. Sometimes there are a few little issues with installing this Pico Zero library. So I'm hoping that now you're feeling a little bit more confident with all of this, we can run through the next steps to get it installed for you. And then next time we're going to be investigating how much easier it is to get things written in there. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But before we do that, I should just say, make sure that you have saved all of your code to the Pico. So look, actually this one is untitled. Just before I go, I'm going to click on Save. I'm going to click on Raspberry Pi Pico. Now look at what's happened here. You may very well get this. Device is busy. Can't perform this action now. Please wait or cancel current work and try again. Now what has happened here is that I'm still running my code because I'm in this infinite loop. And if I still press the button, yeah, the LED still comes on. I'm in this loop. I haven't pressed stop. And this is another reason why a Pico really is a very simple device. We call it a microcontroller. It doesn't even have the honorary title of a computer. It's nothing like that intelligent. So it can only do one thing at once. So if you're trying to save some code and you get that error, you need to come back here. You need to stop your code from running. Okay, and then in the shell down here, you'll get this little prompt here and you'll see that now it has been stopped. So now if I click on Save and I click on Raspberry Pi Pico, now the thing will come up to show me what to do. Now I've realised that that might not be showing on the video, so hopefully you've been able to follow along to my description there. Okay, so that is that all nicely saved then. So your project now is to see if you can connect all of the buttons and get all of the LEDs to light up when the different buttons are pressed. See you in the next video.